Once upon a time, in a magical land, deep in the heart of an enchanted forest, there stood a magnificent treehouse. It was no ordinary treehouse. Oh, no. This one had a secret. It could talk. Yes, you heard it right. The treehouse had a mind of its own, and it loved to chat. Now, the treehouse wasn't just any treehouse. It was made of twigs and leaves and flowers and everything that fairies and gnomes and elves would love. And it just so happened that three young friends, Lily, Max, and Sam, stumbled upon this very treehouse during one of their adventures. Lily was a curious girl with hair like spun gold and eyes as blue as the summer sky. Max was a funny guy with a knack for getting into trouble. And Sam? Well, Sam was the quiet one, always lost in his own world. As they were playing, they heard a voice. Well, hello there. Care for a chat? They looked around, puzzled. Who said that? Suddenly, the treehouse began to glow and the children gasped in amazement as it started to move. The windows winked at them, the door waved, and then the whole treehouse came alive, revealing a cozy living room complete with a fireplace, a table and chairs, all made of wood and leaves and vines. I did say I wanted to come alive, said the treehouse, but I never said anything about doing it this way. The children were stunned into silence as the treehouse bustled about, rearranging furniture and making itself comfortable. Then, breaking the silence, Lily asked, Can we stay here? The treehouse paused in its activities and turned to face the children with a knowing smile. Of course you can stay here. Why wouldn't you? I love having guests. In fact, why don't you come in? Make yourselves at home. We can have some tea and cookies and you can tell me all about yourselves. And that's exactly what they did. They spent the afternoon sipping imaginary tea from acorn cups, eating cookies made of flower petals, and sharing stories. The treehouse listened patiently, occasionally offering a comment or a suggestion. As the sun began to set, the treehouse suddenly perked up. Oh, my word. I almost forgot. I have a story to tell you. The children snuggled up on the couch as the treehouse began its tale. It was a story about a brave little squirrel who goes on an adventure to find the most beautiful acorn in the forest. Along the way, he meets a grumpy badger, a family of singing birds, and a wise old owl. The story was filled with laughter, adventure, and friendship. And as the children listened, they couldn't help but feel a sense of magic all around them. When the story ended, there was a moment of silence. Then Lily, ever the curious one, asked, Did that really happen? The treehouse smiled mysteriously. Well, that's for you to decide. Max, being Max, couldn't resist. He started to argue with the treehouse, poking fun at the little squirrel and questioning the wisdom of the old owl. But the treehouse wasn't having it. How dare you mock my friends? It boomed, its voice echoing through the tree. They may be small and furry and wise, but they're all heroes in their own right. The argument went on for a while, with Max getting more and more flustered and Lily and Sam trying to calm him down. Finally, the treehouse sighed. You know what? You're right. I apologize. It's just that sometimes I get a little carried away with the stories. Max, feeling guilty, apologized too, and then, as if sensing the change in mood, the treehouse suddenly perked up. Say, why don't we watch a cartoon now? And with a wave of its magic, it conjured up a magical cartoon just for them to watch. The children laughed and cheered as they watched the antics of a talking cat and a dog who go on a hilarious treasure hunt. They snuggled close to each other, sharing popcorn and candy, and they couldn't remember ever having such a fun day. And so the night wore on, filled with laughter, games, and a little bit of friendly arguing, until it was time for bed. The treehouse, now their treehouse, tucked them in with stories and songs until they drifted off to sleep. And as they slept, the treehouse whispered to itself, I do love having guests.